Are you surprised? I believe that you are. It's been a minute since you've seen us. And this is on the segment of the Sister Chat brought to you by TKBSDS Productions. Tonight, aren't you glad that troubles don't last always? Hymn writer wrote, Weeping may endure for a night, but joy will come in the morning light. But aren't you glad the trouble don't last always? Then there was a remix to Earth, Wind, and Fire, September. And it said, could you praise him on a cloudy day? But then the infamous John says, sometimes you need some good trouble. And with those type of good troubles, sometimes them bad troubles we think that be happening is actually for the betterment of us. And it turned out to be some good trouble. Well, Star and I is here. Are you here? Because tonight we going to talk about it. And the experience starts right now. Woo!
Hey, Hunty.
Hey, honey.
How you doing, beautiful? How are you, beautiful? What's up, beautiful?
Woo! Sometimes you just gotta smile. That's all you can do. Just be creative
Girl.
and maintain and smile. That's how I'm doing. How you doing, beautiful?
I'm doing well. And that's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Hey, I ain't mad at you. Why you sticking to it? Can you greet the members since you look so fabulous?
Hey, Hunties. How my family doing? You guys, I just want to tell you welcome. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the show. Yes, honey, we are about to throw down some nuggets today. So we want you guys to listen in, chime in, go to our podcast. We're on Spotify and everything, guys. This conversation today is a little more serious. So listen in. Welcome. Come on in the house.
Well, I like the way you did that. And yes, it's a little more serious. And let us know if you like our new time. We trying to balance this thing out with this new thing called life because life is opening, things are changing, demands
Mhm.
are different. So now the
Yes.
demands are different. We're no longer at a position where timing is of the essence. So what
Yes.
we do is we have the conversation. We don't just walk out on each other. We have the conversation and say, all right, well, what you think we ought to do? Let's talk
What
about it.
you thinking?
Because, it's nothing like consistency.
Yes, you have to
And
have that.
you gotta stay and be very, you gotta be consistent, especially with me. So
Mhm.
if I demand consistency, it's only fair that I respectfully give consistency.
Absolutely.
And sometimes people have no clue what it takes for you to do what you do. They can
No,
only
they don't.
assume, they can only assume that you're
Hmm.
capable because they see you. Oh, well, they look fine, but looks are very deceiving.
Yes, they are.
You have no idea what it takes for a person to sit, stand. You don't know what a person does or have to do just to smile.
Hmm.
You don't know what it takes to hide behind your trouble and still press forward, because the word says walk by faith and don't be surprised by sight, but do
Hmm.
know that God got you. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's not easy. You know what I mean? Because looks are very much deceiving. And the package on the outside does not tell you what's on the inside. Because you know what I say. My disclaimer is life is like a box of chocolates. There's a reason why I say that, because you never know what's on the inside till you crack it open. Okay? So stop judging people by the outside. Take the time to see what's on the inside. And
Right.
I'm just saying that in that, people's heart, people's intentions, um, their true personality. Take the time to get to know what's on the inside.
And be 100, y'all. If you're only there for a temporary standoff, say that. You never know. A person may understand and
Mm-hmm.
respect you. I'm just saying. And my disclaimer is what works for me may not work for you, and what works for you may not work for me. So therefore, I'm not going to push me on you, and I'm not going to let you push you on me. I'm
Nope.
not trying to convert. I'm not trying to change. I'm not trying to convince. But what I will do is I will give you a different perspective to look at.
Exactly.
And you make the decision on what you want to do, what's best for you.
For you.
That's it.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes what you may feel was best for you based off of my perspective may say, hey, that may require me to do something a little different. So
Exactly.
Cinderella and Cinderfella, if that's your shoe, if that's your suit, wear it.
Don't wear
But treat it
it.
like I do when I go to Golden Corral.
Golden Corral.
Treat it like it's a smorgasbord. Eat whatever you want to eat. Whatever you want to eat to your liking, to your diet. If it's not what you want, go to a different tray. That's all I'm saying.
Yep. Have what you like. You can have whatever you like. Take a piece if you want it. If
That's
you
what I
don't
say.
want it, that's okay too.
Look, if I'm giving it to you, you definitely can have whatever you like because it's open for you. But don't
Mm-hmm.
use it. Understand the difference between somebody who is being a help for you versus you treating them like a rug that you wiping your
Mm-hmm.
feet on.
Ooh. Don't
So
use me as a rug, okay? I'm just going to look. I'm going to give you a
not a mat.
forewarning.
I'm not a mat. I'm not a mat. I don't do well as a
That's
mat.
a forewarning, okay? No, no, no.
Well,
Don't do that.
don't do well with a mat. So
But
as
you know what? It's really sad to say that, there are really people out there like that who are just very manipulative in their relationship. Like I really don't see that for me, for my relationships, but I had to realize that, everybody ain't like me. Okay? And I
yeah.
would be defending people to the dire end and only to find out, oh my God, that's really how they are.
Oh my God, I did
It's,
that. I wrote a
it's so
whole, I wrote a
sad.
whole, I wrote a whole message response. Oh, that's not them. Oh no, they don't do that. Oh no, not them. That's not how they operate. And guess what? They turned
You was
around and did it
wrong.
to me. And I was like, yo, really?
Mm,
You said you would never do that. Wow.
mm.
And I had to look back and go, but I just told
so and
Ooh,
so and so and so. That's not him.
was
That's
it
not
like
her. That's not her. That's not him. They would never do anything like that, girl. I know. And
understand
you
that
just
word
gotta
neighbor?
be careful. How do you thwart that? Like, how do you get by that? How do you make sure that that doesn't happen to you? There's no book, there's
No.
no inkling, there's not, I mean, people have just gotten very good at deceit because it's just, how do you keep that from happening?
You can't,
You really
unfortunately.
can't. Like, how do you keep it from happening?
You really can't. Only thing you could do is take the warnings that come your way. And when
Right.
the red flags come, try not to avoid them and ignore them. That's the only thing I could say. Because
Yeah.
there's been many a times I've seen a flag, and because of the kind-hearted person that I am, I'm like you. We quick to defend. But I
Hmm.
had to learn to say, I can't speak for no one but myself.
Right. And
I
I don't
can't.
see that. You know what I mean? Sometimes we just don't see that in people because we look for the good um, in people. Always.
Yeah.
I always have. And it is interesting though, the signs are there. You know what I mean? It's like those signs are there. So my spidey sense start tingling. I'll be like, no, we're not doing that. The
Wow.
spidey, hey, Alfonso.
How you doing, sir? It's good to see you here. I need to send you the
Welcome.
link so you can come on here and talk to us. Because you be writing
Just
some stuff. I think people need to hear you say it, sir. And it's good to see you, my friend. Whenever I see you pop up, that really makes my heart sing. Because this brother was not supposed to be here. So you talking about a God working miracle and real life 100. That's
mhm.
that sir right there. So it's a pleasure, as always, to see you, sir. So yes.
So we talking
Oh,
about
look,
that.
let you know you want to come on today. I'll send you the link.
Because we talking about
Send me
that good
the
trouble and
link.
that bad trouble. Come on in.
Okay, look, you want to come today? You can come sit and talk to us because today we talking about trouble.
All kinds of trouble.
All kinds of trouble.
What
Lord
we do? I'm like,
Jesus.
I didn't even know I was in trouble.
And sometimes we be heading straight to trouble and we don't see it. But that's why I'm so glad that my friend, who calls me friend, who really is a true friend, who's never ever denied me, the one who
Mhm.
created me, friend, yeah,
Yep.
him. I'm glad I got him that
Him.
sits beside me and be like, yo, I got you. Keep walking.
Yep.
There's a reason why I'm allowing you to go through this right now. Keep going.
Yeah. Keep striving. You know what I mean? And that's the other thing. When things pop up, like I was saying, the message that Miss Tabitha Brown had today was just so powerful, and she's like, we have those moments in life, when things just don't go our way, and you get a little anxious, you get a little frustrated, and she said, just drive on. She's like, I had to walk outside, you know what I mean, to deal with it, but know that when you're doing the right thing and you following God's word, sometimes things come up against you.
Because he wants
Okay.
to. I never forget, Lord, I'm trying to tell you, I was going on and on and on and on and on and on about all the struggles I've been through and the hurdles I jumped over, the ones I slid past, the played it safe, how God had me, carry me, work with me with my medical situations, and how
Mm-hmm.
God was there for me financially and physically. And they was like, oh, really? And then boom, I was like, are you serious? He's like, wait a minute, you just got finished talking about how he got you through all this. So here come another testimony. Let's see how
What?
you do this one. And I was like, but then I had to remember that thing called discernment.
Mm.
God had already
Warned you.
warned me.
Mm-hmm.
I like to go to the river, but before we go there, Rita is in the house and she said, hello. Hello, Ree.
Hey, Ree.
And I like to sit by the water, especially when I feel like I need to have an experience or I need a closer
I need to
connection.
exhale. Yes.
And sometimes it's just I need confirmation, or I just need to know, where am I going now, or my what now moment, or God, this is where I am and this is where I want to go. Can we talk?
Mm-hmm.
And I'll go to the water. And I also am guided by the water because
Me
I
too.
believe that I stand on the reins. I let him use the currents that he pulls me to where I need to get to and where I'm going. So then that way I know I'm not walking in the wrong direction because I'm in the
Exactly.
currents that he is holding.
Mm-hmm.
Because after all, he's the one who could tell the sea to be still. But
That's the
then
truth.
I recall I remember I told y'all I went down to Maryland. I had an experience and I was there. But when I came home, took my bath and washed and went to sleep. When I woke up the next morning in another different direction, no location and everything, I still had the smell and taste of the ocean on me. Mind you, I didn't get in the water. I just smelled it on the banks.
Right.
You can smell the water, the ocean, but I wasn't like, if I took a couple of steps closer, I probably could have put my feet in the water. But I was leaning on a tree, which that's another symbol for me. I'm
Mm-hmm.
going to get somewhere real quick. I'm trying to hurry up and speak as fast as I can. And while I was there, I was like, all right. And I've learned not to speak because God knows what I want. He knows
Mm-hmm.
what I need. He knows my desires. He knows everything about me.
Right.
So I decided not to speak, but just to listen.
Mm-hmm.
But when I got back home, I could still taste as if I was in the water. I could smell it and taste it on my lips. Mind you, before I left, I was in a car accident. Out of state, in a car accident. What? They hit the back of my car.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I was okay. I got back to Philly safe. Okay. All right. And I'm trying to figure out, why am I still smelling the ocean? Why? So I talked with a young lady by the name of Tanya. By the way, happy belated birthday, Tanya.
Happy birthday, boo.
And she was telling me, and we were breaking it down together. And I said, oh, that's God letting me know that a tidal wave is coming my way, but don't be alarmed by it. The taste and the salt and the smell all up in my face. I'm not drowning. He got me.
Mm.
And I was like, okay. And then I went to sleep the other day, and it's like a flea of, it was like a rainstorm, but then it turned into a flea of storm of something. And I was in the car and it just was slamming against the car.
In the dream.
What?
In the
And
dream.
in a dream. It let me know everything is ready to crash. And I was like, what? And I was like, don't get it. And then it happened. And I lost it. I was like, oh God, what am I going to do? God, hello, and talk to me now. Don't get silent on me.
Come on, Jesus.
And he came with, you know what to do when trouble comes. Be quiet.
Be still.
Quiet. Be still.
Mm-hmm.
Don't you start pedaling now because you're back. You don't know where you're going. Calm down. Right? Finally, the two dreams came together. And I said, all right, God. And that was after things started opening and letting me know. I was like, oh, okay. This is the warning. You're telling me you still got me. Don't be afraid of what's going on. Don't be shaken.
Don't panic.
But trouble had been coming up, and I was like, well, what?
Little bit, then another thing, then another thing. Yeah.
Okay. What? Okay. And then I had to remember the famous story of Lot. He took everything away. And I was like, well, I know you're not giving me a lot of experience because I don't pray for just me. I don't have a selfish thing about Shauna at all.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when I knew, okay, God would allow trouble to come. But it's how you handle it. He wants to see how you're going to handle that thing.
Yeah, it's a lesson.
Are you going to
It's a
deceive
lesson.
him? Are you going to ignore him? Are you going to hate him? Are you going to start doing things your way? Or are you going to stay the course? Mm-hmm. Well, ladies and gentlemen, let you know I stayed the course. But
well, good.
It's not going to last always. And before somebody like, oh gosh, Shauna in trouble, back up, ease up. It ain't even that type of trouble, but it's trouble.
Mm-hmm.
But it's good trouble because some of those good troubles was I needed some of those things to fall by the wayside. I needed some of those people to be revealed. I needed some of those issues to be sown. And you know when you have those moments.
Yes, that discernment comes into play. But yes, I do know those moments when it's like, okay, here's the thing. Okay, all right. Now here's another thing. Okay, all right. But by the time it gets to that third thing, okay, you feeling some kind of way. You like, okay, Jesus. All right, what's the lesson? What am I supposed to be learning here? What? Which way you want me to go? You telling me to go left, go right, go straight? What are you saying? You know, because you want to understand. And, you know, I am and always have been and will always be a person who asks questions. That's just who I am. You know, in school growing up, they always told us there are no stupid questions.
Mm-hmm.
A question is identifying that you're trying to understand something.
Mm-hmm.
And that is a good thing. When you are seeking to understand, that means you are seeking knowledge. You are seeking to be able to, you know, move forward in a more cohesive way.
Right.
But what I found out sometimes that, you know, it's very different, you know, how people perceive your questions. You know, sometimes people perceive your questions not as a question.
True.
And I don't get that. Like, they don't perceive your question as a question. It is just that. There's nothing more, nothing behind it. It's just a knowledge-based question where I seeking to know. But I noticed that there, you know, I've got a couple of friends of mine, you know, another girlfriend of mine. It's so funny is that we were talking, you know, and I asked her a question about what she had just told me, right? So I asked her, you know, 3 questions, and instead of her just answering the question, she got an attitude about the question that I asked. I'm like, well, I'm just asking a question.
I don't get that either.
What is that? I'm like, wait, I just asked the question. You know, you just said what you said. Okay. All right. Now I'm seeking to understand, you know what I mean? Because you're sharing with me a situation. You know what I mean? So you just want me to agree with you and that's it. You know what I mean? I'm asking the question so that I can better understand. You know, maybe you didn't understand at the time. But why do people get an attitude when you ask a simple question? What is that about?
Well, before we even go on to that, I'm going to answer your question. So pin it, because I had that same situation that happened when I made a statement. And instead of us having the conversation, it went totally left. And that's where I left it. Because I'm not messy. I can't deal with messy, and I'm not dramatic or dramatized. And
I don't do drama.
And today I've learned that life is too short, and
way too short.
We don't need to go into be involved with stuff like that. And just some things you just got to say, okay, it's okay not to be okay,
and leave it right there,
and leave it right there. If it's meant for y'all to have the conversation later and be like, yo, you know what? I was on some other stuff and I misunderstood where you was coming, or I misunderstood where you was at because of where I was at. Can we talk about it now? Okay. Right. Sometimes you need those. And then guess what? Don't wait for the conversation, because sometimes people will lead you to believe that you are the problem. And that's where you
yes, because you asked the daggone question or you made the statement. So wait a minute. I'm only making this statement based on our conversation and what you said.
Guess what? Treat it like my aunt said. Sometimes people just do stuff as a formality. They really did not want you to follow through.
Or they really didn't want to hear what you had to say. Only if it agreed with them.
Possibly, yeah. That's
and right. I might not. That's why we put out our disclaimer. I might not see it the same way as you.
Yeah.
And that's why you have conversations to check yourself. Well, at least that's why I have conversations when I got an issue, with somebody and I want to, just kind of figure out how to address that. And I might talk to a friend about a scenario and like, okay, so, am I cool? Is that good? Was I right? You know what I mean? Not that I wanted right or wrong, but just trying to understand, that I didn't offend anyone. You know what I mean? Did I offend you with my question?
But guess what? If you cared about that person and that person really cared about you, it will matter. And if it doesn't matter, then that answers your question. And you don't have to even wonder, what did you do? Because obviously, whatever you did, that person must didn't care enough to have the conversation and say, you know what, you mean too much to me for you not to be in my life over a misunderstanding.
Right.
And if they can't do that, then that means obviously your presence is not warranted. But guess what? Our guest is here.
Yes.
He is in the house.
Can we talk a minute? Wait.
Listen, I call him Sire. He tells me I don't have to call him Sire, but he will always be Sire to me. I love this dude. And this man right here really don't know how much an impression of life he has on me because of I've seen what life has done and where he has been in life. And he means so much to me. And it's an honor that he actually decided to come in and speak with us today. I had started what they call them, a weblog like years ago called Weathering the Storm.
Mm-hmm.
And he was one of my administrators of how to weather the storm. And even then I was talking about water and didn't even know it. God is funny. But
yes, he is. He will bring it full circle.
He's here today and he's going to lay some knowledge on us. He's a very knowledgeable man. And I'm just going to let him come on and we're going to have a moment. So
bring him in the house.
Mr. Alfonso is in the house.
Alfonso has entered the building.
Hey, how you doing?
Welcome.
I don't even know what to say. She just flattered me. I'm sitting here like, wow. Okay.
Yes. Wow.
You're my Sire. Always will be Sire. But I'm just saying, that's my Lion King right there, y'all.
That's okay, Simba.
Yes, Sire go way, way, way back. And we have been over some stones. We have turned some stones. And I've been allotted to still call him friend. And it's not too many people that you can honestly say is a friend and they're genuinely, truly a friend.
Yeah.
And he has truly been that. And we've been through it all. And, I almost lost him last 2020, right?
Yeah.
And I remember the last thing I texted him was, you better fight. You better fight with everything within you. And I'm fighting on this side of the daisies, but you better fight. And
get them dukes up.
And the fight that he made on his life, it was the most scariest thing because that's when the line went dead and I never heard from him again. And we just kept getting messages, not doing well. Keep him in prayer. Not doing well, but we're hopeful. We're prayerful. Went to the next stage of everything that took place whenever goes through those, what everybody had to go through when they caught that series and was hospitalized. And
Yeah.
it wasn't just your 14-day in the hospital that some people went through. He went through months. And then finally, they said he woke up. Oh my God. That day, if I could have ran the Olympics, I think I would have won. Of course, with medication. I know I can't do nothing without my
It's like,
meds.
I'm gonna need meds to do
I
this.
know. Look, my medication makes me feel like I'm Superwoman. So I said it out loud. So if anybody got a list, they know. Oh, so she's, the after effects allow me to think that I'm a Superwoman. But so I'm going to sit back and I'm going to let him take it from here. So go ahead, Tyre.
Tell your story.
I don't even know where to start. I mean, April 3rd. Well, I guess March 30th they gave me my diagnosis. They gave me the test. It came back positive April 3rd. Told me to go straight to the hospital because I already had a chest infection. My doctor was just worried that it would get worse. Went in the hospital. Of course, they wasn't letting nobody in the emergency room.
Right.
Took me back in a wheelchair, laid me on the table, gave me some oxygen. I don't remember nothing after that until I woke up. And that was April 3rd. I woke up a couple days after Mother's Day. And wow. I couldn't talk. I couldn't move. I didn't know what was going on. I was like, okay, something's bad going on. They had a trach in my throat. The nurse, when I woke up, the nurse looked at me and she was like trying to see if my eyes was moving with her because she didn't know about I was still in a coma or I was woke. And I'm looking at her like, why are you looking at me crazy? She screamed and ran out the room. And like in about 10 minutes, my room was full of doctors. And I kept looking around like, what? Why? And they started explaining to me what I went through. They said my kidneys failed, my heart failed, my brain even stopped functioning, let alone my lungs. And they was like, only God knows. I'm like, oh no, it was definitely God. I couldn't speak it at the time, but I knew it was God. And I was just like, man, because we just lost my little brother in January. So it was just rough. Like it was a rough thing. And the last voice I heard before I woke up was my little brother telling me to get up. I heard him saying, get up.
Wow.
Yeah, he was like, get up. Don't do this to mom. Don't do this to mom. Don't do this to mom. And I'm like, what are you talking? I'm sitting here, in my head, I can hear him talking.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, wait, maybe. I was like, no, am I going? That's what I kept saying to myself. But I opened my eyes and that the nurse did that. And it's been a long haul. Like, I'm still dealing with some stuff, but thank God for my family and everybody. And I just, I see it. Everybody be like, I never been scared of death all my life. I'm from the street. Death is part of the language.
Right.
And it's funny y'all talk about trouble. I've been in more trouble than I can count. And I know God is the one that got me out of it. And then, people say, oh, after you get in trouble, you wake up. Man, I've been to jail, been in different places, and I never thought about it a second thought, like, yeah, I'm gonna give my whole life to God. And and it seems like once I made that decision, I was 35 when I made that decision that I was gonna give my life back to God. And it seemed like more trouble was trying to follow me. And some things you just walk into and you be like, oh, how I do this? And God be like, I'm gonna get you out. I'm gonna get you out. But even with the sickness, it's it just brought everybody closer. And even my friends, they call me more than once a week now and be like, hey, you cool? I'm like, yeah, I'm cool. What y'all calling me for? They're like, cuz, man, it was deep.
And you know what? That says it all right there.
Mm-hmm.
When it seems like when you're on God's side, that's when trouble comes. And it's like, oh no, not you. You can't be, not you. I need you not to be on his side.
Right.
It's like he's like, oh no, wait a minute, that's too much of a force. if you take them, then that means they're going to be able to grab them, and I got them right now. So no. I got to send trouble their way to divert them from this.
Mhm.
You know, and it's like sometimes I really believe that. I believe that trouble comes just to hinder you from what's.
You know what I learned? You know what I learned though, and I try to teach this as much as I can. God sends tests your way,
Yep.
and the devil sends temptation your way.
The two T's.
And people are like,
Yes, he
excuse
did
me,
just
when
go there.
you go through your stuff. Hold on one second. I'm sorry.
Mhm. He said, God sends tests your way, and the devil
Can
sends
you
temptation
can
your
y'all hear
way.
me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes.
All right, good. I said, yeah, I learned that as I grew, because that's when you got to ask God which one it is, because you know
Mm.
God, because the Bible tells you, the Bible never tell you God won't give you more than you can bear, because life alone can give you more than you can handle. God
That's
said,
true.
I will allow you to be tempted, but I'm always going to give you a way out. But because we're humans and we're curious, and you know, sin feel good, that temptation always come, and we don't always take that way out. And then we on our knees saying, Lord, help me. And you know, being sick and almost dying, it woke me up on a lot of things, because I lived my life kind of carelessly, because I really didn't care. Like losing my brother was one of the hardest things that ever happened to me in my life, and I still was on a way that I wasn't lost, but I was hurt, because I was like, why would you take him now? And he just getting his life together. He just came home. There's a lot of things that he has going on with it. He just met his son like 2 years ago. His son be 17 this year, and he has a special needs. And I'm like, why would you do this to him now, Lord? Why would you let this happen now? And you know, people don't want to hear things, but you know, God got a reason for everything.
Yeah.
And whether it was for me and my other brother to be closer, or for our families to be closer, because you know, I did his eulogy and everybody thought I couldn't do it. But the main thing I said in my eulogy was, my brother always said, I got you.
Mm.
And whether it came early or it came late, he got you. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And he would, if you needed him, he would get out of his bed to come help you. And I said, that's what our whole family needed to do. And if you was family, he don't care if you was distant family, you got a hug. What's up, cuz? And he'll hug you and be like, look, man, he's like, you know, because he had got a 10 to 25 year bid for self-defense.
What?
And yeah, someone tried to rob him, and they brought a knife to a gunfight.
Mm.
And the prosecutors turned the case into my brother trying to rob the guy. So it was real ugly. It's been us in the city been ugly. That's why I was like, people just don't know how deep this is. So, but I still gotta trust God in all this, because
Yes.
you know, years ago, I've been standing on the corner waiting for them to come around. You know, lock me up too. But now I gotta see it a different way. And you know,
Yeah.
it's the wake up call wasn't for me being sick. I know it was for people around me.
And
And
Wow.
that's
Yeah,
what we.
because you didn't know what was going on. You said you went to sleep on April 3rd, and you
but
woke up. You like all of that everybody else experienced during those 2 months. You
right,
were asleep,
I was
talking
asleep.
to your brother.
But you know, it's funny. People even when you said I text you and said I'm in the hospital, I'm okay. I don't remember that. I seen it on my phone after we talked when I came out. But a lot of my cousin, my wife, a couple people would say, "Hey, we text you," and I'm like, "You text me and said you was getting on the ventilator." Blah blah. I'm like, "For real?" Like I don't remember none of that. And I wasn't even drugged back then. I was just going. Like God did allow me to feel any of the effects of them doing the stuff to me. But
Mm.
I got the after effects. But I don't remember nothing like that. I was like, I text you? Like, yeah. I'm like, then one of my cousins said I called him. It was like, yo, bro, they about to put this thing on me. He's like, you barely could talk. I'm like, I don't even remember that. I don't remember none of it. So God, and a lot of people don't understand. But see, You know what? A friend of mine told me the other day. Sometimes God gotta lay you down
Ooh,
to wake you up.
shut up,
Did
shut
she
up.
still to wake you up? Yes, that's
Y'all
true.
don't know. If y'all don't know, church about
You
to walk
heard
up
it.
in the house, y'all.
You silly.
Church
Yes,
is about to walk
he got
in
to lay
the
you down
Did you did
to
you
wake
just hum?
you up.
Did you just hum?
I did.
Look, y'all already know. Everybody knows.
Yeah.
Everybody knows on the sister chat. There's no way around it. If this is your first time here, last time here, do understand. Church comes.
It's coming into the house. Yes,
all
coming out.
the time.
Ain't
He
nothing
walks
wrong with it.
house like what and sits down. Okay, y'all
That's
may
what's
not see his box.
up.
He
Y'all
like,
may
did you hear
not
his
see
mom?
his box, but do understand. It's in the building. Okay, all right.
Yeah, I understand. I mean, even now, I'm getting ready to start a men's ministry, and I never was into doing men's ministry. That was not a big thing for me. I don't mind speaking to anybody. I can talk to anybody because I've been around the world and back again, so I learned life. But now, because of what my brother went through, what I went through, and what I see people going through every day, I need to talk to the men, especially the brothers from around the way that grew up in the neighborhoods. Because I tell people all day, nobody taught us how to be a man. We had to
Right.
learn on our own. And they was like, and the people say, well, relationship. I'm like, nobody taught us how to be in a relationship. We didn't know what a relationship was. We was raised by our moms and our grandmoms. You know what I mean? The whole block was full of kids, but it was nothing but single moms. Either the dads died or the dads just wasn't around. The dads popped in and out when they wanted to. So I like, we didn't learn. Who did we learn it from? I said the only thing I could say about myself is I grew up in church. My grandma opened churches. She was known for that. Like her and her girlfriends just put money out for pastors that they believed in. And
Mhm.
the men of God that was in my life that was in the church, most of the men in my grandmother's church had their own businesses. They were electricians, plumbers. One guy was a mortician. They did, and during the summertime, they would take us to work with them so we can learn how to use our hands, don't worry about getting dirty, which I think was a blessing, but they never taught me how to be in a relationship. They
Right.
never taught me, hey, you get hurt, you can talk about it, you can call somebody, you can reach out. They never taught me that. So as much as I tell people, I don't have no. I tell people. I just said something at the funeral the other day. I'm not scared of my past because I know where I'm going.
Hey now.
Yeah.
So
Well,
they was because I was telling them that the women from around the way is something about the women from around the way that God put in y'all that make y'all stronger than normal.
Mm,
It makes y'all stronger than
hey,
normal.
big
People
wait
say,
a minute.
oh.
Hold up.
flag on the field. Flag
Wait,
on the field.
look.
Where's the flag?
Rita said, hey, sir. And she also said that part. But wait a
That
minute.
part.
Here
Yes.
on the sister chat, we got this thing called the flag on the field. I need you to understand. The
Okay.
flag on the field says that somebody said something that has to be investigated. And he said,
We're gonna need a playback.
he said, him said,
Him did it.
something about what you call them around the way girls?
Yeah.
Not the girl next door, but around the way girls.
Around the way.
That part.
From down the way. You gotta be from down the way.
Down the way, round the way, girl.
Yeah.
We need to talk about that chick. Can we talk about that chick? Because I know I know that chick that fits that profile. Can we talk about her?
Listen,
Yes.
me and my
Okay.
cousin, it's just so funny. Me and my cousin just got off the phone because he said he just broke up with his girl. I said, why you break up with her? He's like, because he said, I'm out here hustling. I'm working 40 hours a week and she complaining because I'm at work. But he said, if I wasn't making money, she would complain. But I was making money. I'm making money and she complaining. I'm like, dude. He's like, and she asked him something like, I need you to meet me at the table. He said, but what do you got? He said, why we can't build something together? And I was like, he said, you know what makes me mad? I said, why? He said, my mom, your mom, our grandmom, all of them raised us, and they were strong black women.
And they
By
work.
themselves, raised, like my grandmother raised about 20 something kids. She got 7 grandkids, but she raised all our cousins. Everybody been in and outside my grandma's house for one reason or another.
Mm-hmm.
And she cooked for everybody and had fish fries every Friday. So you know what I'm saying? He's like, why we can't meet nobody like that? I said, they not built like that no more, bro. I said, they not built like that. I said, if you find one, you got to hold on to her. Because
baby, hold it.
if you don't find, you're not gonna find them. It's a needle in a haystack for real. Another
They
flag.
ain't cooking. They not even cooking oodles and noodles. Talking about some fish.
What?
Oh, yeah. She exists, but she just don't look like what you think she's supposed to look like in order to exist. Can we talk about that for 1 minute? So
I wouldn't say that. It's not that. It's not that. It's not that. You know what?
I don't know because
No. Let me put it for example. Let me give you an example.
okay.
I'm not gonna say it's not about looks because like me and my cousin was talking about our dads. His dad is my mom's brother, but him and my dad was close before he met my mom. So they was known to be players on the street. They was known to be out there doing their thing.
Okay.
But his dad married his mom, and my dad married my mom. They didn't marry nobody else. They didn't have 5 and 6 different marriages. They only married one woman.
One woman.
And I said, you know what's funny? Your dad said the same thing that my dad said. You're gonna love a lot of people, but you're only gonna love and like a few of them.
Yeah.
And he said, and I loved and like my wife, and your dad loved and liked your mom.
Like. Big
Love
thing.
and like.
Love and like. You need to like that woman. Yes.
I'm just saying. But you know what? This is
he giving some nuggets.
So this was the look I was talking about. I wasn't talking about the feature look, this one.
Oh, okay.
So I wasn't talking about the physical look because those looks are deceiving. See, it's the look of the conversation that we have while you're looking for her will let you know about if she's the girl next door or the girl around the way or the girl that says no, or the girl you should be saying no way. Now, now listen, ladies, we want the sister chat. And ladies, I need y'all to understand because we got a guy in the house and he's letting y'all know so that y'all can get a little notepads together to understand. But I need to fix something, or I need to throw a flag out myself.
Oh shoot!
Those girls still exist.
They do.
I believe that what's happening with that girl and versus those girls is the morals have changed. Lifestyles have changed where those girls now is like, look, it's about me now. Get it. I done did it. I've been hurt by all them other guys.
I'm about to give you another flag.
Uh-oh.
I'm about to give you another flag. It's not about the world has changed the girl from around the way.
Yes.
The world changed. And they allowed it to change them. Because instead of because you rather collect and listen, because some of them rather collect a check and let the government take care of the babies than have a real man in the house. And the government tells you that. Listen, I'll give you a house, I'll give you food, I'll even give you money. You just can't have no real man in the house. They don't care if you have one of them boys that play. Listen, they don't care if you had them boys that play the game all day and sit down and hustle weed sometime. They don't care about that. They don't want you to have a real man that goes to work, do a 9 to 5 or work for himself or do something in the house taking care of you. The government like, no, because they know the unity and the blessings of a family, and they've been trying to break us for years. But you know what I'm trying to do is wake up the men to realize who they are and what they can have. Because some of the men gave up. I'm talking to these young boys, and they be like, man, I don't even want to open the door for a girl no more because they be like, oh, I don't need you, I got it. I'm like, yeah, but that's the attitude the world is giving them. Because listen, and you know, some women might get mad, but women's lib wasn't for black women.
It wasn't. It wasn't.
That wasn't a black woman thing. That wasn't a black woman's movement. It wasn't a black woman's movement because you know why? We was good. I'm not saying the man was perfect, but we was good because the man was coming home making sure he took care of the house. No matter what he did outside, the house was taken care of. And a lot of people don't know that. Like my grandmother never told us about what my grandfather did to her. And we learned later on in life what he did, and that's why I learned where generational curses came from. But all the business of my grandfather and grandmother, she kept it quiet. It kept it in the house. If she argued with my grandfather, she argued in their room, but without anybody in their business.
Quietly.
And nowadays somebody stubbed their toe, they put it on Facebook. I hit my toe today. Like, come on, man! Like, what's wrong with you? And there's no privacy.
Everything.
And then they wonder why everybody in their business because you put it on Facebook.
And then you get mad. You can't get mad if you put yourself out there to be picked on. I'm sorry. If you put yourself out there to be picked on, how can you be mad? You did it. You did it. You put yourself in a position to pick on. So if you don't want to put yourself in that position, you have to understand what you need to do and how you need to do it.
Yeah, but he's so right in that that the women's lib wasn't for us. Anything that they did was not for us. That's the truth. And then but we had grandmom, great grandmom, big pop, and little dad, you know what I mean? We had a sense of family.
Right.
And the goal seems to have always been to continue to destroy our family.
Right.
But what has happened now to me is that the world didn't just change, the women changed. Where the women would take care of home and make sure everything and everybody was okay. Women changed where they're like, go and get yours. Do you, boo? You know what I mean? So now she's not taking care of the kids. As soon as the baby turns 1 year old, now all of a sudden you're a grown person. You only one. You're talking about everything in front of your children that you would never hear anybody talk about. So that way the kids are grown earlier because they're hearing so much. You're exposing them to so much. And with just technology in itself, everything is at your fingertips. So you don't have to deal with the community. You don't have to go into your community and try to help people. You in your own little world, and that's where you stay in. And as far as men is concerned, they didn't need a man. That's like, I don't need you. I don't want you. I'm good. You know what I mean? They want to get what they want to get and keep it moving because they were trying to do now what they think men were doing to women. So now, I'm not, no, I could do it too, kind of thing. And so that mentality has changed because the world has changed and technology has changed a lot of us.
Well, guess what, y'all? Talking about technology. Technology tells us that we have to make a commercial break. So we're going to be right back.
What a great segue.
Let them go ahead and do that. Well, maybe they won't. Oh, yeah, they're going to.
I feel like busting loose. I said, Shala, come on, y'all said. I said, Shala, get it, y'all said. I said, Shala, come on, y'all said. I said, Shala, hit it, y'all said. Give me the bridge now.
So yes, you guys.
I feel like busting loose.
Yes, for sure. And we're busting loose with this trouble, and the trouble that has tainted where we are. Some real good points were made on how much we've changed and why that's bringing on a lot of the trouble. Some of them are generational curses, and some of them is because of what we have seen And because we've
Mhm.
seen it work for others, now we're going to become those people, or we're going to become those type of people. And we're at the point where it's like, you know, it's like, you know, at what cost are you willing to gain?
It's costly.
And they're
It's
not
costly
realizing,
generationally.
and
Yeah.
they're not realizing that it's going against everything they ever believed in
Mhm.
to do it and to make it. But at
Yeah.
what cost do you feel as though it should benefit you to gain it? Because even though you understand there is this thing called karma, but you do know who's in charge of karma, right? See, everybody don't understand that karma is just the baby of what Jesus and God, you know, put what Jesus sent your way because of what you did,
Mhm.
you know, and people failed to catch a hold of that. So it just, I, you know, I just
I
don't.
mean, it's some bad trouble and it's some good trouble. I'm like, but you know, I really do see what he's saying, and you know, is that when did that happen? When did that change? You know, when did you know the discipline in the house change
I can tell
to
you,
we're not disciplining at all? You know, you don't have to do any chores. You don't have to do homework. I'm not checking it. You know, where I'm going to go do my own thing. When did parents become to the point where they didn't feel like they had to do any of that?
well,
And
let,
one thing I do know is that there is a generation where the moms opted out, the grandmom was taking care of the kid, and then that was a good scenario until the grandmom passed. And then it's like the grandmom did everything for the kids, and the mother was just out doing what she wanted to do. You know, so then when it changes and it's like now it's your responsibility to take care of your kids, you kept having them because your grandma was taking care of them, you know, where you never had the full responsibility, you know, of your child, you know. And I think when you have that full responsibility, you learn more and you decide, okay, no, I'm not having any more. But if you got somebody home already that's doing everything for you, why do you need to? I can keep having babies. What? I ain't taking care of them anyway. That's my baby, but what?
well,
I can
that
still do
right.
what I want.
Well, see, some of those things that were listed are not all the way picture perfect. In
It's
some
not the whole
cases,
picture.
so in
Yeah.
some cases, it showed that mom didn't care. It showed that mom was not involved. It showed that children were being able to do whatever they want to do, and grandmoms came in. But a lot of them was systematically. But because you only saw the out surface, it only led you to paint a picture of what we believe to be an assumption that mom did her own thing. Children was doing their own thing. Children was just having babies, and grandmas were taking care of them, and all that other situations. Let me give you a scenario. So it wasn't that mom was taking care of the baby. It was, I live in a house where there is 3 generations. So the top
Mm,
was grandma. So we did what grandma said, even though mom was in the house. So it
yeah.
appeared as though grandma was doing everything. And also, unfortunately, the workforce had a lot to do with it because moms weren't able to be involved due to the shifts that moms had to work. So it made it appear as though there was no mom that cared enough to be there to pick up the report card or to come and talk about the children's behavior, because the job said your duty is demands of the call center or demands of the business says that you can't leave right now. And if you leave, you're going to be fired. So you put mom in a position where mom have to decide, do I keep the money in the bank coming, or do I miss this case with the baby, or do I go to my plan B, which is called my mom, and have my mom step in? So
Mm-hmm.
it's not that all the time scenario where grandmom is raising all the babies. That's not all the cases. But there are some cases where it was because the child was the child that had a child. So mom
Yeah.
had to take care of the child. And that's the child ended up being in school. Or you had a child that was caught in the system or caught around some bad people, and mom couldn't get control of that child because the system said if you did, it was a thing called DHS on that child, even though that child had a child. So that child was now by government law, that prevented them from being able to be that parent. And we don't sit there and we don't break it down. That's why I truly, truly love that statement where it says, don't judge and don't be in the seat of judging, because you don't know how they got there or why they got there. And you don't know why they even still there.
Well, I do know scenarios like that, but I'm speaking from experience on the scenario that I'm talking about.
Right. And that's why I say for all of our listeners that we're not signifying that everybody did this.
No, it's not everybody.
There are some cases where this is a true scenario, but unfortunately, that's the scenario that people only want to talk about. They don't want to talk about the one that's not that scenario, that's being put in that category, and say, well, how can we get her out of that category so she won't be put in the category where it's she's not the mom that don't care. Mom is doing her own thing. Mom, and you know what?
But he was right in talking about the whole government rule where, it's like you did not want men in the household. It's like, okay, I have, friends that was getting money, but you know what I mean? They man had to leave. You know what I'm saying? It's like, oh, okay, and that's the choice that they decided, as opposed to, just blending that family and, just getting married. They chose that. So I understand what he's saying. There were a lot of people who did that. And it's like, I have more babies, I get more money from the state. That was a mindset.
Now, guess what else that was? That's a scenario of trouble that we talk about.
Trouble and control.
Because somebody showed them that, or because they seen someone else. So they felt, okay, so this is the way we are supposed to do it.
Right.
So that's why you have to be careful what we're teaching our people.
Yes.
Because we're teaching them that the system is the way to go, is the best way to go for us to be able to do what we need to do. And let me learn you and get you guys to understand that to be furthest from the truth. Please do understand that is the furthest to be true. That's what I say to
that. Oh my! How did he get us on this subject? We weren't here. But it's all trouble.
Well, we actually were here.
It's all trouble,
and we were here because we're talking about trouble don't last always, and one way to make sure the trouble can continue to stop or help it to stop will be to have the conversation about the troubles that we see and why they happen, and now talk about how we can get from up under it. So how can we get from up under it? This is how, and why moms decide to say no more, and now it's my time. You know why? Because mom got tired of being there for everybody, and no one was there for mom. So mom out there and said, you know what? Now I'm going to do what I need to do.
Yes,
true. You know how many moms I've talked to that have said, Dad left, but I got my behind kicked for staying, and now I'm going to and now I'm going to get out here and have the life that I need. And now you want to kick my behind because now I want my time.
Right.
And it's always been led that we're supposed to take care of everybody and do for everybody. And the super cape. Mom got the super cape.
She was our superwoman.
When are you going to take the super cape off of mom and say, Mom, now you fly without
it's your turn.
Without us on your cape. See, some of y'all failed to understand. And I'm gonna give you a real cute scenario of what a mom is. With
a scenario? A scenario?
Yeah, a scenario. Imagine mom with the cape that flies, and mom is invincible, could do everything as long as mom have the cape on.
Right.
So let's go to Aladdin. Aladdin could do everything he could do on his magic carpet, right?
Yes.
So where did mom put her kids when she couldn't hold them in her arms? She put them on her back. And what was on mom's back? The super cape. So you wonder why you was able to fly? But sometimes mom had to understand and get a moment for mom.
Yeah.
And we didn't allow moms to have that. And then we had new moms that came along to see, I got to do this. I got to keep
Or
working.
they said, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing what she did.
Some of
Okay.
them did that too.
I'm putting me first. I ain't doing that, and that's what happened. A lot of times, like, no. I done seen you work like a slave every day in and day out. You don't even have a life. You ain't got no man. Oh, I'm not doing that. So that was another generational situation.
But the only thing that we failed to understand and what we failed to have the statement of a disclaimer that's already been said, so y'all can feel how y'all want to feel. You have to understand there's a thing in your life called wear your shoe. Wear your shoe.
Or wear the shoe that fits.
In your life, it's yours. It's not my shoe. You can't use my shoe. You can use an example of how I walk in my shoe, but you still can't walk my walk because it's my shoe. So with that being said, we have to understand that we have to do what's in our profile and what we can do without hurting everyone else. And sometimes we have learned to say, I don't care who gets hurt as long as I get mine. And that's not good, because people are watching you get to where you get to, and they want to know how you did it. And you're going to tell the story of, I said F you to everybody. So somebody's going to say, okay, that's what I need to do. That's what I'm going to do.
Right.
And they're going to go and do the same thing. And then we wonder why the world has turned around. That's because the mentors, the examples that has been shown is showing us that this is the way that we get to where we have to get to.
Yeah.
And they are as farthest from the truth. Just like we had the conversation of the woman cannot help the man if the man is down. The man is not a man because he needs to be able to do what he needs to do and let a woman see him doing it. That was because at that time, that's all a man could do. But today, that rule don't apply. So you gotta stop using outdated guidelines to run your life. You need to know.
You might need to say that again.
You need to stop running your life with undated rules and regulations.
Yes.
Outdated. The way I'm running my life of 2020 is not the way life was written. Written in 1971. The way mothers act in 1971 is not the same way mothers act in 2020, because life is different now.
It is.
We have to operate differently. Life is not allowing us to operate the same way. I had somebody that told me, I know what you're taking, but what does that have to do with what's going on with you?
What do you mean? I know what you're taking.
So, in other words, let me go and use something that everybody is using. Well, not everybody's using, but let me use something that's common. Alcohol.
Okay.
Everybody know that alcohol can cause some type of disorientation. So if someone says, I have alcohol, you don't need to know, well, they have distortation. Now they have alcohol. You already know it causes distortation. But some people want to hear you say she was disoriented by the alcohol. In order for them to say, okay, let me tell you something. Y'all need to rewrite that. You need to rewrite that bylaw. You already know what happens. Just like everybody know, if you give that baby some cold medicine and they ain't got no cold, they're going to sleep. They don't need to know, well, the medication caused them to be drowsy. We already know NyQuil gonna put you to sleep. Nobody ain't gotta tell you nothing. You already know. You have to write it out. You already know. But Some people feel as though they need to aggravate the point because they feel as though nobody's going to go the extra mile to do what they need to do in order for things to go. So let me learn y'all something. Go the extra mile and do what's right. They know they don't want you. They know you ain't gonna fill out no paperwork. They know you're not gonna move forward. They know you're gonna give up doing the right thing to do to get what's right.
Mm-hmm.
They know it's easier to do what's wrong.
Right. Than to do what's right. Mm-hmm.
If I'm not feeling you no more, let it be known. Don't hold on to somebody because that's somebody else's blessing. If you don't want it to no longer be yours. That's trouble right there. I don't think people don't really realize the trouble that they bring you for holding on to something that you really don't want to hold on to. And that person believes that you holding on to them for a legitimate reason.
Yeah.
I don't think they realize the trouble that they cause with that. Can we talk about that?
Yeah. When you hold on to something too long, it's a detriment to yourself. And you don't even realize it. It's like, that's like being in a relationship where you are the positive person. The person you're with is a negative person, just in their personality, right? And in the beginning of the relationship, the middle of the relationship, you made that person better. So they weren't so negative anymore. But later on down the line, what started to happen? That person became the negative person that they always were, but now so are you. You became the negative person because you were around that 24/7. So the good that you did that helped their personality changed who you were. So sometimes you can stay too long in a situation and it gets really crazy and it just gets messy, but you can stay too long. And that comes with everything. You know, not just, male-female relationships. Sometimes you can be around that negative girlfriend and, you keep hearing all of this stuff that keeps going in your ear, down to your heart, back up to your brain. Okay, that you're allowing. That's why they say, don't be careful who you allow in your ear.
Yes.
But all of that negative stuff that's been said over and over and over and over and over and over and over, you start to take that on and not even realize it because it slowly happens.
Yeah. And my pastor, I knew I was going to mention him.
Oh, shoot.
My pastor, James Moore Sr., Second Mount Zion Baptist Church, West Philadelphia. Yeah.
Second Mount Zion Baptist Church?
Mm-hmm. Him would say, it's easier to pull somebody down than it is to pull somebody up.
Yes, it is.
So with that being said, that's right there with your negativity. And just like Alfonso just said, the storm is messing with his connection. You really think so? Is the possibility that it's because
he had something good to say. And I don't know what storm he's talking about.
Of course.
But I do see it's getting real dark around here all of a sudden.
All of a sudden. And did you ever know that every time it's time for you to give something good, something always comes up and be like, booyah.
What was we talking about? You know what I mean? It's like, that's because we got good trouble going on. Good trouble is about to change our lives. And because of that, just like Tabitha Brown said today, that good trouble is coming your way. That good trouble that you've been going for, pushing, making all the adjustments for, continue to strive for, is about to bloom. And now you've got the enemy attacking. Let's not, we don't want anybody else to hear what's happening. We don't want you to get there. We want to try to block you. Okay. But when you're walking in the faith and be like, my Jesus said, I don't care what you said, but my Jesus said, this is the path that I'm on. And guess what? I ain't from Mount Zion, but I'm going to tell you right now, when my Jesus say it, that's where I'm going.
Honey, did y'all hear her go to church? Did you hear her change her voice? Did y'all hear how she said, Jesus?
My Jesus. Okay. Don't get us to humming. Wait, that was too funny. We said, did she just hum? Yes, we will go there. But go ahead, girl. Hit that high note again. What? Yes, hunty. Don't mess with my Jesus. Because I'll be like this. When we get on the other side and all of that good trouble that we was in, what we were pouring into, and we had good people pouring into us, and we are successful in that endeavor, what you gonna say?
Well, let me
My first words out of my mouth is gonna be, look at God. Won't he do it?
Well, I'm gonna tell you this. If you think that it's gonna be easy and every day is gonna be good, no. If you think that everything is gonna be great and you're gonna be able to live the life of paradise and everything is wonderful, wonderful, then you're not living life. Because we always have tests and trials and tribulations.
It's the shade.
It comes with life. Can we live it in a more comfortable habitat? Maybe so. But
that shade is coming, honey. But you got to look. I mean, we living with God in the sun, but the shade is coming, and the shade is ringing on my doorbell right now.
Let me tell you about the shade that's coming back this way, because the shade that's coming back this way is called the mask is back on, ladies and gentlemen. Like we knew that it would be. But do understand, trouble don't last always. But it's how you handle your trouble. How you handling your trouble? Are you going to handle your trouble to the point where you're going to stay on the straight and narrow and be like, you know what? No matter what, I'm going to stay.
No matter what. Yep.
Or are you going to be that one that say, I'm going to go by the wayside and I'm going to do it the devious way to get what I need to get to?
It ain't worth it. For me, in my world, in my bubble that I live in, it ain't worth it.
It's not,
my mama always said, she was like, it does not pay to lie, cheat, or steal. And my mom didn't believe in that. Okay. And I feel the same way because that's how I grew up, number one. But number two is, girl, you know how much energy it takes to be lying, and then you gotta remember to lie and keep up those appearances and all the energy you gotta put into trying to manipulate somebody. Mm-hmm. Listen, I could be doing something else with all of that energy. I'm not gonna put all of that into something negative. I'm just not gonna do it. It ain't worth it to me.
And you know what else I want to talk about? I want to bring back what he said about his friend that broke up with the woman, and the woman, how she felt. Sometimes it's what they're not saying in the argument that is sometimes missed. You complain because I'm making the money, and you complain because I got to make the hours in order to make the money. Okay. So during the time of you doing what you're doing, are you still trying to make time for y'all? Because I believe that's the part that is missed, because they get so hung up on it's about my business and it's about my work till you forget the other factors
that you're in a relationship
that's in your life, the other factors. Yeah. But the thing is, it's like it puts you in a position where you feel as though you have to choose and that you can't have both, but you can. I have examples. What worse or better situation that better understand this than being the president of the United States? You was the president of the United States, okay?
Barack Obama, okay?
You was the president of the United States. How many hours is that going to take in situations?
All day, every day.
That's going to take. But did you ever see it ever show that he didn't make time for home?
He made time for his family.
For home. There still is a way that the both of them can work. Mm-hmm. Eric Jefferson did a lesson. And the lesson that he did was from the most best speech that Barack Obama could have ever made that he picked out. Besides the fact that he acknowledged me in one of his speeches. And I was like, he's talking about me! The day Barack Obama mentioned my letter and my words and my sentences verbatim in his speech, I was like, shut up! President of the United States, no, Shauna? What? Like,
he told me it's not just the English language. That's my shit. Ooh,
What?
that's
Be
mine.
about. But the point of the matter is, he acknowledged that Michelle Obama did not sign up for this, but yet she stood by him and worked side by side with him and understood and raised their family with him and
With
together and still together. They is doing it together. So can it be done?
Yes, it can.
I give you another one. He even used himself as an example. Him and his wife been married for years. And it started off as a business, which brings up a post that I used a couple of years ago. Waking up to not only having a business partner, but also married to them.
Yes.
That's a team.
That's all day, every day.
That's a team. I have another team for you. Jazzy Jeff and his wife. Mike Burton and his wife. Kim and his wife.
Mm-hmm.
These are people. Matter of fact, I'm going to go even younger. Y'all remember the Moore twins, 25 years old? He's married and was proud to say, I'm married. See, the industry told them, your fan base won't appreciate you being married.
Yep,
So
they sure do.
Married. Don't tell them you have a significant other that's on your side that's holding your hand. Don't do it because you will mess up your fan base.
Right.
Let me learn you something. You're messing up your life if you leave somebody else to lead you to believe that no one can be happy for you and still support you.
Yeah.
Don't believe
that's
that.
Crazy.
If anything, they will even support you even more because they will see that you are real.
Mm-hmm.
You're real.
That's true.
You're real.
That is very true. And I never really understood what that was about. Like, okay, so you think the whole world is single? You know what I mean? You think the whole world is single and you got to be the heartthrob. Oh, you got to have all of those groupies. But I'm going to tell you, them groupies is not fun. Okay? They crazy.
They look, okay? But, you know, again, that goes right back to what we said a few minutes ago when I said you're living by outdated rules and guidelines of marketing with music. It doesn't apply anymore. That's old. It doesn't apply anymore. I've seen, we have met so many. Look at Reagan Whiteside. Reagan Whiteside and her husband. He's her producer. He's the one who helps her get her music out.
Mm-hmm.
That's her husband.
Yeah.
And what better way than
our other girlfriend that we interviewed. Oh my God, what's her name?
Beth is married. Yes. Happily married. And
yes. And I'm like, wait, what was the producer was downstairs and she never said, what was that?
Never said
like, that was so funny.
Blended families. Blended families. Blended families can exist. It's not about the relationship of the mother and the father. Even is the relationship that y'all are okay.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing about it is, when it comes down to the back of the day, it's about the children all day. Make sure that they are good enough for your children. Are they going to protect your children? Are they going to take care of your children? Are they going to be there? Are they going to be there? Are they going to be a supportive case in that child's life?
Exactly.
That's what matters. I don't need you to raise my kids. I need to know that they know they have a support team. That if something does come and they say, look, I need somebody to talk to, that they can come and at least talk to you.
Right.
Can we talk? And I need to know that the other father or the other mother ain't going to have a problem with them talking, because sometimes we become like Charlie Brown's teacher. Want. And sometimes I wonder,
be like, what you say? You just talking to hear yourself talk just to be, yanking about something. You know what I mean? It's not that deep. And it's not about you. It's about their relationship. Let it go. Let them have their own relationship. Stop manipulating your children away from your male or female. Don't do that. And don't talk bad about them in front of them.
Because that's just giving you more love for that child. And today, that's what we're missing. We are missing the love We are
Mhm.
missing the love. I'm gonna say it
Love.
again. We missing love, guys.
That's why my new song is called I Love You. Because I need to hear it. You need to hear it. We need to hear it. We need to share the love. It's called I Love You. Anytime you talk about it, sing it, say it, speak it, you got to say, I love you.
And that matters
It
because
does.
because
With so much negative and hate going on in the world, where is I love you? You know what I mean? And with the pandemic and people being, so separated, thank God people began to pick up the phone again. It wasn't just a text. You can
yeah,
call somebody and they actually answered the phone. Like
yeah.
nobody was answering their phone anymore. Leave a message. You might get a phone call back, but all of that kind of changed and people wanted to hear your voice. They realized that that phone was a lifeline. You know what I mean? Where you can hear how somebody is truly feeling,
Mhm.
and you can also get your feelings out. So, and then you were able to say, I love you. I don't hang up the phone now. Well, even before this, though, I don't hang up the phone without saying, I love you. You know what I
Right.
mean? I don't know if that's the last call that I'm going to make, or the last time I'm going to hear you. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, no, I love you. And I just love it when I get back. I love you more. I'm like, oh, that's
And,
so cute.
and that means the world to a person
It
to
does.
know.
That little
And
tiny
'cause
thing.
you never know how a person may be feeling non-loved
Or just not hearing that.
because they're
You're loved, but you don't say the words. So many parents and grandparents, they would hug up on you, but they never said the words. They didn't say, I love you. You know what I mean? So sometimes it's just to hear it. It's just to hear it and just know that somebody is saying that to you and it's going in your ear, down to your heart, and back up to your brain.
you know
Shauna,
there's a
Shauna, Shauna, I love you.
I love you too.
See that how that just changed? Do you know what I mean? How it just put a smile on your face. It's like
Right,
it's such a
right.
small thing, but it means something very, very big.
you know there is
I want to hear what Auntie got to say about it.
oh yeah, auntie got something to say. Auntie
You
definitely
know
got
she
something
do.
to say. And we're gonna talk about auntie says today. But there's a song that's out by Avery Sunshine, and the song is how will you remember me?
Mm,
And that thing right there, when you talked about love,
mm-hmm.
that's that thing right there, because there are some people that hide behind the shadows and you think that they have everything going on. You have everything, you think that everything is all right.
Right.
And all they
Everything
want,
good with you.
and
Mm-hmm.
all they want is somebody to love them, somebody to hold them and to say, you know what? You the best thing that
You the
happened to me.
best.
Or,
Yes.
you and me together make the best things, even though we may not have a
Yes.
lot, but what we have keeps us
It's
keep us
so much
moving.
better because of you.
It keeps
Mm.
us moving. It keeps us
Yes.
going forward, you know. And yes, there's some of us that say, and I'm one of them that says, I love me. And by me loving me, that actually has a lot. But there's times where, you be like, I'm tired of sleeping alone. I'm tired of sleeping in the bed by myself. I want somebody.
Mm.
What I just learned recently. I want somebody to spoon with me at night. It's spoon.
Spooning, yes.
I want a spoon. You know, I don't want to spoon with my teddy bear all the time. I mean,
It's like, don't get it twisted. We want some spooning too. And like
sometimes,
spooning that is just that, just a
you want to
warm
wake up.
hug.
Yeah, sometimes you want to wake up in the morning to not be seeing a closet or a wall or a pillow. Sometimes you want to open up the eyes to see it is that person that you love.
Mhm.
Is that person that gives you that step that helps you keep
that
moving.
extra little,
And then sometimes
that
yes.
extra
And
pep in
sometimes
your
you
step.
look in the mirror and somebody come behind you in the mirror and be like, look at you. While you saying, yeah, look at me. Look at us. know,
For me, it's
that's
the
good.
kitchen.
That's
While
good.
I'm in there cooking,
Honey,
okay, and then
shut
you
up,
just
don't
like,
you-
oh baby, that smells so good, and
That
you do
kiss
too, and that
behind the neck,
little that
neck.
kiss, yes,
that
that kiss
neck
right
kiss.
there.
Oh,
Look. Like
that's that
Lauryn
kiss.
Hill said, that kiss on the collarbone, okay.
No,
Mhm.
not even the collarbone. You, girl, honey,
Look, like that one,
that
Yup.
part right there in the
that
back,
kiss right there, that kiss on
Honey,
the
if
cheek.
I'm chopping up some food or I'm washing the dishes or putting the food, and you come behind with that bear hug from the back and that right up, honey.
Yes,
That's good trouble. That's good trouble.
I
That's
got
good.
you.
That's
Feel
good
baby, I got you. Look, that's
And you
another
know what?
song. I
After-
got you.
After a hard day's work and coming home and getting
It's
one of
those little things.
that's like that, honey. That's like
It's
that's
like butter.
that's like butter to hot bread. wanna see
Just
me melt?
oozing all over it.
Stop the ooze. Stop. Flag on the field. She's
Mm.
ooze. I'm gonna not. We not oozing, y'all. We not oozing.
I don't know about y'all, but I'm oozing.
We're not gonna talk about. Matter of fact, we taking a break, y'all. We be right back. Because she threw a flag on the field, and we're not going to investigate that because she knows when you say some words, my skin crawl. You know what you said. You said we oozing. Shut up.
It is what it is. It's butter on bread.
We'll be right back. Talking about oozing.
If you want to create a drop, release your new song with a pop, do you need an exciting intro for your video? Promote your business, products, or shows? Contact us for customized digital video packages. For more details, email us at tkbsds.org@gmail.com.
So yeah, y'all, we talking about trouble, and she just left us with a trouble word. I'm not going to repeat that word no more, but that's the word.
Well.
Always saying we need love, you know. LL Cool J said it better. I need love. In the back of my mind, I hear my conscience call, telling me I need a guy who's as sweet as a dove. In my life, I need love.
Ooh. But I'm gonna tell you, honey, I love you.
I'm ready for love. I don't want to hear nobody tell me that love don't exist. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear nobody tell me that
it does exist.
That it can't happen. I'm not hearing none of that. I don't want to hear that life won't beat you down and you won't know where to decide what to do. If you have somebody that's in the same mindset as you, that's going to be driven just like you are, who's going to understand what it takes to be you, that's what you need to do. Stop with all
and
this
just love you for you.
And stop falling in love with the punani and thinking that you in love. Because when you ain't got the punani no more to get, and all you got to do is deal with that person on a one-on-one. Can y'all talk? Can y'all have fun? Can y'all go out
we have fun?
Public?
I like you? Remember what he said? He says not just about the love, but he was like, I want to love and like my wife.
Yeah. Can you like me?
Yes, just like me. You know, you need a friend. You need your husband and your lover to be your friend.
You need to be your friend.
That's where the light comes in. I like you as a person. I like being around you. I think you're funny. You crack me up. You know, I like you. I like talking to you. You know, so it's those things as well that really builds, because it's the day-to-day that makes a relationship last forever. Getting through each day. If you can't talk to each other, if you can't make each other laugh, if you don't understand each other, that's not going to last. And you only spend a little bit of time in bed, okay? That really is, I mean, on the grand scale of things, is 24 hours in a day. How long can you really keep it up going? Keep it going.
And guess what? It's all good to have that midnight snack. It's all good to have that, what I like to call kissing under the moonlight. I think that's the most sexiest thing is kissing under the moonlight. Oh my God.
Oh my gosh.
It is. I mean, I just
It
have a thing
is.
about moons. I have a thing about moons. I have a thing about water. I have a thing about nature. I'm just a nature person in nighttime.
I am too.
Something about the nightlife, the night air, and the moon with a loved one just sitting there and just.
Girl, that's
We
my
ain't gotta say
favorite time.
We ain't got to say a
Especially-
word.
Ain't got to say nothing.
Nothing.
It can be quiet. Just being my favorite thing
And
on the
that's it.
ship, on my balcony with nothing but the moon shining on the water, just quiet. Like just having that quiet. I literally book my vacation, making sure that it's a full moon because I want to see that. I want to see it every time I go on vacation.
You know what?
Every time I go on a cruise ship.
And you know what? The moon don't even got to be full for me. The moon could just be the moon.
I just love that. I
And
just
you-
love it how it lights up the whole ocean.
But you know what else it does for me? It gets me excited about what's new adventures to come because we know after the night comes the light. So it's like also like a spiritual realm for me, like today is washed away and I'm ending the day with you, me and you,
Right.
and we're forgetting about what all has happened through the night. We're just going to end tonight wonderfully with just me and you. What Tony
That's
Series said?
beautiful.
Just me and you.
Yeah, I like that.
Not
really
worry about
beautiful.
just me and you. That was called, I don't know the words in between.
Well, girl, I don't know where Alfonso was, and he was in the middle of the storm. Well, the storm is over me now. So we better get to Auntie Says because I do not want anything to be like what had happened was we just cut off the sister chat.
Yeah. Well, it already came past me. So yeah.
Oh, well, it's just getting to me.
They just said we can't be on the phone during a storm. They didn't tell us that we couldn't be talking virtually.
Look, that's the new age. Okay, that was because they had a landline. Okay, now we just worried about we talking about the lightning.
Yes. Oh, Denise is in the house. Hello, Denise.
Yes.
Be on vacation.
Hey.
What you doing, girl? I hope you all are having a wonderful time. And we talking about trouble today. Sometimes
Alfonso said he love it too.
Sometimes we, it's sometimes trouble
just
is
that
good
quiet.
Just good trouble. Sometimes the trouble that we get, it's like I always say, it had to happen.
It had to happen.
It had to happen. So, don't be discouraged by trouble. Just know that it won't last always. It's not going to stay there.
It will not last.
It may feel like it's forever because it's been years.
But it's only a moment. If we think about it in moment to moment, it's a moment in time. We are the ones who carry those moments and make them last. You are the one who gets angry and then holds on to it. But it really was only a moment. It was a disagreement, a misunderstanding for a moment. Don't let that moment define your lifetime.
But if it is that moment that did need to define it and it did need to happen so that they did need to go away, leave that trouble door closed and mark on that door, trouble, warning. I'm just saying. There's just some doors
you're not
supposed to open back up because it was supposed to get you to where you were back on track. Because sometimes we get off track and trouble comes to put us back on the right track.
See? Yeah.
That part, right?
But now you freezing, okay? Yeah.
I freezing?
Auntie?
I
freezing? 3 times.
I did. I didn't see me freeze. Nope, I didn't freeze.
Yes, you did.
Oh
You're-
well,
you were talking, but whatever.
yeah, I don't know.
It
Or
was,
maybe,
listen, like we just said, it was a
maybe,
moment.
yeah, maybe it looked like I was freezing. I don't know. Oh, whatever. It was just a moment.
It's a moment in time.
So we're going to have our moment in time. What Auntie says. Y'all ready?
Yes,
Here it comes.
I'm ready for Auntie.
Here it comes. Wait a minute. I gotta get Auntie ready. Is Auntie ready? I think Auntie's ready.
You gotta get Auntie dressed and ready.
Yeah, I get Auntie ready. Auntie ready? Auntie ready? Yeah, Auntie's ready. Okay. Auntie says.
What you say?
Good morning, Facebook family. How are you beautiful people doing today? Today's a good day because if you hear and see me and I'm speaking to you, that's half the battle already, right? Listen, I may have said this before, but this weekend that I had was so epic. It has provoked some things in me. I've realized in this life, we all are going to have hurts, right? We're all going to have disappointments, but in particularly, church hurt, relationship hurt, family hurt can kind of flatline us. And that's because it deals with our hearts and our emotions, and they're the relationships that we are most vulnerable. But hurt will come. But you have to decide, I have to decide to make a choice to not allow these hurts from these people to gear our lives. I'm tired of people saying, because it's not all the way true. You know, church is a hospital full of sick people. I do agree with that 100%. But what I don't agree is to say, well, you know, that's church, that's drama. No, we need to be accountable for what we do and what we say, right? In relationships, you make a commitment to a person. You need to be accountable to that person. You need to respect that person in all these relationships, and the same with family. I made a decision, and it wasn't an easy decision. I asked God every second of the day to help me to give out eviction notices to those who have hurt me, who are taking up space in my heart, in my spirit, in my mind, and I'm not gaining anything from it but a negative result, right? Bitterness, being mean, not being able to embrace the fullness of the blessing God has for me because my mind and my heart and my spirit are so convoluted with the hurt these people have extended to me. Some intentionally and some may not be. But this is what I said this weekend in family hurt. There's a family member who burnt me and hurt me so bad, right? And it's been a long, long time, but I was still holding on to that. I decided to feel better and ask God to help me to release them. Whether they apologize to me, whether they acknowledge it or not, release me so that you can do what you said you're going to do. You said that vengeance belongs to you and you would repay. You don't need my help. But in that, releasing that person or those persons who've hurt us, God released me from myself and help me to be better. Not that I will forget it, not that in some relationships you're going to have coffee and tea and crumpets with this person, but they no longer have permission. They no longer bogart the residence of your heart. You're free. So in doing that, I had an epic time this weekend. We had a reunion, and it was my mother's siblings and their children and their children's children, and it went on down to 3 or 4 or 5 generations, right? If I had not forgiven that family member, I would not be able to embrace it. And people apologize differently. When that family member saw me, and when I saw that family member, I remember the love and the tightness and the closeness that we had, that far outweigh what they had done to me. And I'm not always innocent because my mouth can be lethal, right? I admit that. But we hugged and we embraced. Then they came back to me and said, come on, cuz, give me another one of them hugs. I need like another one from you. That was their way of acknowledging what they did to me, and me extending a hug, and I got real in there, was acknowledging that it's all good. People apologize different. And when we hold on to things and we want an apology, once that person has apologized to us, or maybe they have not, what are we going to do with that? I have released, and it's an everyday thing. Don't think I'm saying that your feelings are not important. Don't think I'm saying that your hurt is not real, because it is. But with all of that, you have a choice to make for you. And I decided that I want to release them because I want to embrace everything God has for me. If they hurt me, then they're not worth taking up space in my heart, in my mind, in my soul, in my spirit, in my thoughts. They're not worth it. So today I encourage you. This is a baby step walk. This is not a Wonder Woman or Superman fly, right? Today, ask God to help you. I didn't say you're going to forget it, and I'm not implying that. But I'm saying to you, let your life be better. Let your heart be in a good space. Let your thoughts process healthiness and not bitterness and anger and revenge. All that's natural. We're going to feel that. So I'm not saying that. But I guarantee you this. If you release them into the hands of God and let God do it, He can get them better than what we can imagine. Our revenge only causes more consequences and even things that we may regret later. It's hard, but we're on this journey of getting better. So today, we're going to give out eviction notice. We're going to evict them like never before, and we're going to ask God to help us. And He's able to do that because He's a big God, all powerful, and He does big things if we ask Him. So let's be better for ourselves. Turn that frown into a smile. It's easier to smile than frown. And from that special place, I love you. Have a good day. Please consider inoculations, if not because of medical reasons or just your thoughts. I get it. But social distances is so important. Let's protect our babies, wear masks, keep them from different situations, wash your hands 1,000 times. I'm just going to stroll on this day of getting better because I'm excited that I gave out eviction notice, and I'm excited about my results. I feel so much lighter. Until the next time, peace.
Wow. Well,
Auntie said it.
She said
She
it.
giving out eviction notices. Okay.
And that's what I say is some good trouble. Let's give out some good trouble, and let's all take a note and take a note out of Auntie's page, and let's just give out eviction notices.
Yes. Take that nugget and wipe it off and make it work for you.
And put that pearl on your necklace and wear it bright.
Wear it proudly.
And if you want, put some diamonds alongside of it too.
Diamonds and pearls.
Because
a girl can't go wrong with that.
Nope, because we all know that diamonds and pearls comes from the pressures and the disturbance of life. So with that,
we won't get all of that.
So with
If
that
you
being
live
said,
long enough to see it.
and you will know, because every day comes with disturbance and pressures.
Yes.
So knowing that every day comes with disturbance and pressures, know that the end result will be a diamond and a pearl. You'll have a better day.
Absolutely.
It may not come
Absolutely.
right away, but you just keep holding on. It will.
I agree.
All right.
With that being said, could you talk about my crown that
I
I'm
can
trying to
I can tell
adjust today?
Yeah, I can tell you that you can still wear it. Sometimes we may not feel as though we're worthy of wearing our crowns because of what we're going through in life. But it's not that we're not worthy of wearing it. And it's not that anyone has to tell us that how we're supposed to wear it, because it's ours. But what we are saying, that we're just giving you a different perspective of how it may fit. You may just need to adjust it
Just
a
a
little bit.
little bit.
All right, my love.
Just a little bit. Yes. I love you.
I love you too. And it was fun. I hope that everyone knows that, whatever troubles you're going through or you're coming through right now in this life, do know and understand it's temporary.
It's temporary.
Even though it may be months and it may even be years in.
Mm-hmm.
Time is coming. God promised you that it will come. So you just be patient and be still. But
And
in
no.
the meantime, still keep moving, because it's not magic. It's going to take a little work from you too.
It takes some work.
So
But
we don't have
that
a moment from you tonight. We just got that.
Everything is going to be all right.
It's going to be all right.
Everything's going to be all right. Sometimes you just need to hear everything's going to be all right.
And
it's
it may not be the way we want it, but I guarantee you,
it's going to be all right.
Better.
It's going to be all right.
Be all right.
This too shall pass.
All right, y'all.
What she said.
Yeah. And what she said.
Yes. We're going to see y'all right back here next week, same time, same back channel. The sister chat is all of that. So y'all come on back. Now you're here.
Come on back and we'll be here. And if we're not here, we were here. And we'll leave.
What?
We were here.
We're going to be here.
We're going to be here. We're going to be here. All right, y'all. So
good night, darling.
We out of here.
Bye-bye.